Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Spillin the Tea. I'm your host today, Ashton Culp, and today I'll be having a chat with Goldie Williams, Director of Counseling and Health Services at the Allie Young Health Center, here on campus, to talk about anxiety and depression in college life and knowing when to get help. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am here today with Miss Goldie Williams. How are you doing today, Mrs. Williams?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on the show. So for my first question, just to get straight into it, what are some of the primary causes of anxiety and depression in college students, and what are some of the signs and symptoms that you or a friend could be experiencing?
So anxiety, I think of as a normal response. It's a normal human response. And sometimes it just goes awry, and we have to think of it as it kicks in, it goes into overdrive, and then it causes us problems. So anxiety is the body's way of telling us something is wrong, that we need to pay attention to what's going on around us. But sometimes it goes awry and we overdo it. And when we overdo it, what happens is our mind kind of wanders and we get set into this series of fears. And fears are the fuel of anxiety. So negative thinking and the actual increase of fears makes anxiety increase. Then what happens is you have a change in the way the person breathes. So they have restricted breathing, which then causes a whole other set of problems that also increases anxiety. So once it starts, it kind of mushrooms into something much bigger.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like that's what I've experienced plenty of times.
Yeah.
Well, with that, have you seen an increase in anxiety and depression in college students, specifically on this campus anyways?
Right. So I don't have any research or data that says there's a statistically significant increase for MSU students in this area. But we know that there is an increase. And we know that because of report from counselors that work with me and what I've seen and experienced with students on the campus, as well as what I've read that's happening across the nation. Given the COVID epidemic and what's happening just in our world right now, there is a definite increase in anxiety and depression among all ages, but it's also affecting college-age students for sure.
Well, as one more smaller question, do you have any simple ways to alleviate stress that you would suggest a student use?
Yeah. For general overall stress management, you really need to look at your daily life and reduce the things that are making problems for you. Reduce the things that are causing unhappiness. Really take an inventory about the things that you're doing that you could stop doing. Relationships that aren't working and get out of them. Make a change in your daily life because there's probably some stress mounting from the things we've continued to do that are not working for us. But while we're doing that, we also need to increase things that we enjoy. And in the time of COVID, those things are really limited because it's not social interaction that we can do. If it is social interaction, then it's through a webcam, and we're kind of all sick of that, aren't we?
Just a little bit.
So it has to be outside. It has to be in a setting where you can wear a mask, social distance, and be safe. On top of that, I would encourage people to look at the things that they've enjoyed in their life, throughout their life, and then redo them. Get back to doing the things that you really enjoyed. In my life, those things have been reading and books. I was a huge bookworm. I stopped for a long time. I had to rediscover the love of books and make myself get back into reading. Music makes me very happy. There was a period of time when I wasn't listening to music. I've had to start listening to music. Gardening, other things. What do you love What do you enjoy, and do it.
Well, thank you very much for that. I'm sure that'll be very helpful for a lot of people. We'll be right back after this. Stay tuned. Welcome back again for interview part 2 with Mrs. Goldie Williams. Thank you for coming back again.
Thank you.
So first question, what is Allie Young, and how can students go about scheduling an appointment with one of the counselors?
Yeah, Allie Young is the health clinic here on the campus of Morehead State University, and you can reach us by calling 783-2055 to schedule an appointment. And we have counseling appointments that are free of charge to the students. And our medical providers are partnered with St. Clair Medical. It's actually a primary care office of St. Clair Medical, and we can schedule you with those appointments.
Wow, alrighty. I feel like not enough students know about that.
Yeah.
Well, what other health services does Allie Young offer other than those relating to mental health? Because I didn't even know this until this year.
Yeah. So right now, with the mental health side, we have a partnership with St. Clair, so if a student needs a referral for medication, we can have them see the St. Clair medical provider there at the clinic, and if the St. Clair medical provider wants them to go to a psychiatrist that's part of the St. Clair medical group, they will refer them on through the system of St. Clair, so it's ease of access. It's the same way with all medical services in general. If they need a referral to someone else in the St. Clair medical group, they can get that in Allie Young.
Wow, especially the fact that being able to actually get medication for whatever you're needing.
Right. Right.
I just have one more question for you. Do you know how many students actually utilize the health clinic on campus? Because like I said before, I don't feel like enough students know, first of all, that it's there, because I referred a friend to it recently whenever she was having her own mental health issues. But how many students actually utilize it?
So last year, but remember we stopped in March with in-person instruction. A lot of students went home. We had to switch to telehealth and telemedicine. So last year's numbers for mental health was 374 students, and on the medical side it was over 1,700 students that we saw.
And how many, do you know how many that is out of like the students on campus as a whole?
I don't have the percentage breakdown because there's about 2,500 students on campus, plus all the off-campus students, plus all of the students that are in the satellite offices. So it's real hard for me to do a percentage breakdown of that.
Wow. It's still very interesting, though.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. This is something I've been very passionate about for a very long time, mental health especially. So thank you for coming on and sharing what you know and how Allie Young on campus works.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. We'll be right back after this. And that is our show today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much to our special guest, Mrs. Goldie Williams, for coming on and discussing mental health and regular health and the works of Allie Young. That's been Spillin the Tea.